When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle. Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast that thinks Squarespace would be a perfect sponsor because our audience loves free and secure hosting.
No. You have more than enough insecurity for all of us.
That's true. Really need to buy some additional products to help with that.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today
we're going to talk about hunting.
Oh, God, Kyle, why are we talking about hunting?
We're all very excited because it's not my fault. I'll say that. It is
It's not your fault. That's the best part.
It's our Gap Bridgers' fault because we have now added a thing where once a month they'll get to vote on a few topics that we might talk about. And the three of us each submitted a potential topic. And apparently I submitted hunting and you all voted for hunting. So if you don't like that, either get mad at yourself for voting for it or sign up as a Gap Bridger so that you can vote there. I didn't remember that I picked this. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, that's winning, right? And then I was like, wait, I submitted that. Why did I do that? I don't know. Here we go.
You didn't get a sense of personal satisfaction out of being selected and validated over fucking Dan and I?
No, quite the opposite. You would think that would feel really good to me that people picked me, but it's like, you didn't pick me for me.
Great.
Okay. But to be fair, we haven't talked about a stereotypically straight topic in a while, so that part's going to be fun, I think.
Sure. Yeah. But first, yeah.
Here
come the news.
Here come the news. Here come the news. Put it in your ears. I couldn't think of any rhyme with news. There's nothing that rhymes with news.
Nothing rhymes with news.
That's my new podcast. Nothing rhymes with news.
I think that's just fact.
Yeah.
So it's happening. Amy Coney Barrett's on the Supreme Court of the United States, and she's one fucked up cunt. And here we go. The state of Indiana.
We're off to the races with the news.
Yeah. The state of Indiana. Oh, maybe it's the Indianapolis 500. That's the race we're off to.
Oh, we are in our straight episode, so I like it, bro.
Yeah. The state of Indiana has asked the Supreme Court to let it strip rights from same-sex parents. So on Monday, this was last week, so, a while back, but this month, Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill asked the Supreme Court to strip same-sex couples of their equal parenting rights. And the case is really about 8 married lesbian couples in Indiana who used a sperm donor to conceive. And when a married opposite-sex couple uses a sperm donor, Indiana automatically recognizes the birth mother's husband as the child's parent on the birth certificate. But when a married same-sex couple does the same thing, the state will not list the birth mother's wife as a parent. And so...
Did they try to list the sperm donor on there?
No. But the state refuses to list the birth mother's wife as the child's parent. Let's see. I believe it just goes on there as blank. That's a great question.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
No. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So on 2 different occasions, of course, because of Obergefell v. Hodges, the court has held that the Constitution entitles same-sex couples to that their marriage is on the same terms and conditions as opposite-sex couples. And most courts have understood that means equal benefits to married same-sex parents for things such as whose fucking name goes on their birth certificate. And but it's real shady because this case coming out of Indiana mysteriously has been hung up in the courts for almost 3.5 years now. And gosh, now they want to move forward all of a sudden. Could that maybe be because the Supreme Court has shifted directions into a conservative direction? Who knows?
sounds like there's a wicked witch looking at like Ruth Bader Ginsburg's life force and just like waiting and like staring into the aura and being like, nope, not yet. No.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So according to the Indiana Attorney General, he's saying that the case is about the state's right to acknowledge, quote, the biological distinction between males and females. He's saying I think he's, yeah. I don't even know. I'm just barely human. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. That's the Attorney General. But according to them, Indiana law only presumes that a birth mother's husband is the father of the child. A birth mother's wife, by contrast, is never the biological father, so she does not deserve the presumption of parentage. But what's really interesting is that some of the couples, one of the mothers provided the egg and the other carried it. And so they each have a biological tie to the child when the dude that's just married to a woman carrying a pregnancy from a sperm donor that isn't him, he has less of a claim than these women would, arguably.
Yeah. The argument that it's possible that the dude could be the father, so he deserves more rights, like, is preposterous. Like, I could be the father. Throw my name up on that birth certificate. Yeah.
It's just so infuriating that, like, all of this is just like, it kind of sounds maybe plausible for, like, I hate gay people. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand how there's possibly a compelling state interest here, how it's anything but just sheer bald-faced discrimination with a happy little bow tied around it to make it look not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see what happens, but that's moving forward now. And did
you say it's going to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, it's been stuck in the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals for a while, and so it actually went to the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals in May of 2017, but then they waited until January to actually issue their decision. The Seventh Circuit said that Obergefell clearly applies and that Indiana needs to get the fuck over themselves. So the next step is the Supreme Court. Great.
Interesting.
Are you ready? You ready for the next in the news?
Yeah.
Okay. In what I think is just so on brand, it's hilarious. Apparently, from prison, Joe Exotic has spent over 10 grand at one of Donald Trump's hotels trying to get him to pardon him.
That's hilarious, but then a little bit is like terrifying that it could work. Like that, yeah. Like it is highly possible to buy the president's pardon.
Yep. So Joe Exotic, of course, who made Quarantine fame early in the year with his documentary. Is it even real life? I don't know.
Yeah, it's real life.
Tiger King covered. Did
you ever watch that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you
did?
I
watched it. I watched it all in like one sitting. But he was convicted in 2019 on 2 counts of murder for hire, plotting to kill his nemesis and big cat rescue owner Cale Baskin, who was on Dancing with the Sword of Stars, and violating the Lacey Act for falsifying wildlife records. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison. He was involved in a same-sex plural marriage. He is just ridiculous and outlandish and fabulous and sad. And anyway, so Joe Exotic's team spent around $10,000 during a visit to Trump International Hotel in Washington. And that was after Donald Trump in April of 2020 in a coronavirus briefing, Trump said that he would, quote, take a look into the Oklahoma zoo owner's case. And ever since then, they've been chasing a pardon. And it just, I mean, he'll probably get it, right? Like, we've got, the clock is ticking. Trump has just started the, Michael Flynn, great pardon.
Yeah, he's started the rounds of pardons.
I kind of hope he does.
What?
I kind of hope that Trump pardons him.
Why?
Because then the universe will still make sense.
It's like if shitty things don't happen, then you're like, wait, hold on. That's horrible. I hate that.
Yeah. It's like, it's a way to piss off liberals. Why wouldn't he? Anyway.
It is a good game of like, no, see, I like gay people. Like it gives a little piece of shitty cornmeal. That's actually very fitting for our episode topic today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Believe it or not, I don't think that people who try to have other people murdered should be pardoned.
Yeah, that's
also 22 years is not long enough if you try to kill someone. Like,
all right. I mean, yeah, it seems like, should it be just as bad if you hire it done? Like, you know, if you pay somebody else to speed for you, should you get the ticket anyway?
If you pay someone else to do your speed,
you snort that line. Snort that line of coke,
do it.
Bitch. And then you end up in rehab. News the last. So it was Thanksgiving last week in the United States of America.
It's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving for everybody. Except for
Is that
Europeans.
a Bob's Burgers song?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen the show. I don't know that I've heard the song before. I could just tell. I could tell the way your face lit up. Like.
There's some someone saying that I was Linda in was it Discord or Facebook or something?
One of them.
Yeah. There are a million different Thanksgiving songs, but that's the one that's been in my head for the past 2 weeks.
So I'm sort of surprised that this was the year, but it's one of those things that you think has probably happened before, but no. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which has been running for 96 years, this year saw the first ever performance for an all LGBT plus marching band. The Lesbian and Gay Big Apple Corps, LGBAC, was formed in 1979, a decade after the Stonewall Uprising, and has applied to take part in the New York Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for years. And really, the only reason they made it in this year, or maybe the only reason they made it in this year, is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The parade organizers made the decision to limit the number of participants and only select local bands from New York and the tri-state area to perform. And so, yeah, it's slim pickings. So they picked this one.
Wait, so was it not like homophobia? It was just they were shitty? Is that why they didn't get in before?
Great question. They performed Dancing Queen by Abba. I wonder. I have not heard this yet. I'm going to click play and see if we hear it and what we think about their quality.
Right.
Okay, well, that's from Twitter. Macy's Twitter account @Macy's, and
Dan does
you know,
not like that. But
as marching bands go, they did not blow me away. There was lots of twirling, fabulous flags twirling, and I recognized the song, but.
I will also add that, like, judging having been in marching band and a drum major, like the sound that you expect to hear from the audience stand of an outdoor performance, like you have to have that in mind before, like if you go into it waiting for, the same quality as Miley Cyrus performing live, then you're not gonna get there. But
sure,
I thought it was fun. It was good. It was good enough.
Yeah. Well, the marching band's artistic director, Marita Bakley, told NBC New York, quote, "There are families out there in middle America throughout the country that are going to see this. And it's going to give hope to young people who are questioning their sexuality, their gender." And founding band member Joe Avina added, quote, "People will see that we're part of them and part of their lives and part of what they love." And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, visibility matters. And this is the kind of visibility that really matters because there are a bunch of cranky white people who saw it with their kids, not expecting it. And by God, there it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Visibility matters, especially in areas that you wouldn't expect or are not explicitly an LGBT thing. Like these are regular people that march in regular things and play instruments like that. Just here's another way that LGBT people live their lives is great.
Yep, I agree. And that's the news.
That's the news. Thanks, Mike, and thanks, news. And also thank you to these Patreon members.
So smooth, that transition was like all lubed up. It was great.
I'm such a profesh. And speaking of smooth, let's end that right now. I'm so sorry, Kimberly, for what I'm about to do. Thank you to Kimberly Wagwa. Yeah, that's good enough. I don't need to take another run at it. Dylan Vasayo. Derek, stop laughing. It's probably close.
Did you combine the hard ones to say? Is that
No, they all just like they hit me like a dick in the face. Derek Edmister, Craig Ross. I love Craig Ross. And Andrew Hoffman.
Oh.
He's cool too. Thank you to all of our Patreon members. If you want to get bonus shit, if you want to take a look at some of the new benefits, there's like video shit. And as you heard, voting on episode idea shit, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Yeah, do it.
Do you want to talk about hunting?
No.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
This has been Gayish. Yeah, sure. Let's talk about hunting.
What were the other topics that y'all submitted?
Well, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to come up with another one for the next one. Mine's staying on there until you fuckers vote for it. So
no, that's fine. I just asking what it was. You can say what it was. Everyone can see it, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not a secret. It's like
it was posted to Instagram, so it's public. We talked about it and decided that it was okay to make it public.
Oh,
yeah. Why are you trying to keep this secret, Mike?
Well, no. It's not what the topics that weren't chosen isn't the secret I want to keep. It's which loser I selected to be on the list.
Oh, I don't care. What are the two other ones?
I don't know.
Great. Oh, so you can't say you're one. Got it.
The other two topics were stalking and gingers.
Stalking and gingers. And y'all chose hunting? I'm giving your money back.
No, give it to me.
Great.
I'll take.
Okay, great.
That is an odd choice, and it's interesting. And thank you for giving us this weird gift.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hunting. Who wants to go first?
Oh, so is this? Dan, I don't know if you know this, but when we put our thumb on our forehead with our palm extended like this in Dungeons and Dragons, it means out of game. So now I want to have a brief production meeting. Do you have any I don't have any of my normal. Like I didn't do history, I didn't do etymology. So do you have Gata?
No, I have some definitions that could be an okay.
Okay, let's start with that then.
It's funny that I struggled so much to get a Patreon segment because I always have to try and pick the non-obvious things, avoid anything that's data, avoid anything that's history. I literally could have done any of the standard things, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll do my research while you guys are yip-yapping.
Yeah, sure.
Find some data.
I forgot to mention, I have an idea for a Patreon segment. Okay. Are we back in?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't I go first? Because I have some definitions that I am...
You're going to scout out some game for us, and then...
I did not read my own definition, so I don't know what that means. But sure. I did something a little bit different. I looked up hunting definitions and also looked them up on Urban Dictionary. But most of these words actually have a non-sexual meaning.
Okay.
On Urban Dictionary. So another way we're fighting the stereotypes. Not everything has to be about gay sex and butt sex and stuff.
Yeah.
So
doesn't it though?
Well, I don't know. It depends on who you are, I guess. I'm going to start with the word blowing.
Oh God.
The non-sexual word blowing. In hunting, do you know what blowing means in hunting?
No, I don't. Which, I didn't know like if we were going to do the personal thing today or not. But like my dad and brothers are all hunters, and when I was little, I thought I wanted to be also. But like, so I've been around it. Like it's in my life, guns and killing things and hanging them up in the garage. That's all like part of my life. But no, I don't know what that means.
Oh yeah. We didn't like plan this ahead. Yeah, I guess we could talk a little bit about personal before we like get into this. So are they going to be very disappointed in you when they listen to this?
I don't think so. And the reason is when I was like late, no, like 10, 11, 12, right in there, that zone, we got BB guns and we used to shoot like little Tweety birds that were on our property at our house because we grew up on a farm. And then I got this like pacifist streak not very long afterwards. And throughout my early teens, when my brothers were out hunting, I would go outside and yell, "Hey, bird!" and scare the birds away so they couldn't shoot them. And they got so fucking pissed. It was great.
That's hilarious. Okay, this reminds me of when I was thinking about doing a Don't Ask Reddit, Ask Kyle again. I was like doing a little bit of searching, and the one thing that I thought was funny that came up is on Ask Gay Bros, there was a post that said, my dad didn't take me hunting enough. What reasons are you gay? Like, and then everyone is just posting all these like, what are the stereotypical ideas of, you know, what I should have done that made me gay? And this is definitely one of those that, like, if you think that if you take a dude hunting, then that'll straighten him up or something. So it's interesting that you had you had all the makings of that. You had lived on a farm. You had family like that hunted and you had guns and everything, and you'd still didn't take to it.
Yeah. I don't know that my dad didn't make me gay, but he definitely didn't make me straight either, despite trying.
Well, I mean, he's half of the reason you're gay, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you ever feel like, other than them being angry at you for scaring away the birds, which I really appreciate that. I like that. Did you ever feel like left out or that gay weirdness for not hunting or not liking hunting?
A little bit. I think mostly, oh God, sorry guys. I was jealous of my brothers because I felt closer to my dad because they were into it. Like they got to go and do things and bond and have that outlet together. And so it's not that I wanted to hunt, but I felt like that was one way in which I could have accessed my dad and couldn't or didn't or whatever. Fishing is a similar thing. For a really long time, I hated fishing, and all of that's clear daddy issues.
I mean, but fishing is objectively bad, right? We can all agree on that, right?
Well, sometimes Dad would force me to go, and I would sit there and not fish and read my book on purpose just to say, "Fuck you, Dad."
Okay. The difference between fishing and not fishing is so slim. Like, there's like, what you did is fishing.
Yeah. Well,
sitting
that's
there
a different
reading.
episode.
Oh, that's hunting. Right. This is hunting. Okay,
Did you shoot guns? Did you used to have a third brother?
Yeah, I was the middle. Little Igor gets didn't make it, and we don't talk about why. I did not. I grew up in the suburbs, so like things like the only time I went camping was with a friend's family. Like I never did that. The only time I shot a gun was when for school we went on a. Excuse me.
Oh, feelings coming out.
Yeah, I was going to talk about daddy issues when you. The only time I shot a gun is when we went to the outdoor learning center when I was in like elementary school and like learned about nature and also shot at targets, and I sucked at that.
So you can learn about all of those guns out in nature.
all the natural guns, natural occurring guns in the world. Homosexuals are unnatural, but guns grow from the trees. And I got distracted because I was trying to think of it's Adam and Sleeve, not Adam and Steve. Anyway, is sleeve a gun term?
No.
You don't have like a sleeve of ammo or something?
Great.
Magazine? I don't know.
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
How are we doing so far on the hunting episode?
It's going really well, and let me continue to not talk about hunting. So I didn't ever, so I was never made to feel bad about it, or like that was never even an option that was available to me, nor did I want it to be, because I've always thought like hunting is like, I never liked the idea and always thought it was weird and never, really liked the idea of shooting live things. But what I did relate to about what you said is my brother and my dad had soccer. That was like soccer and sports were like their kind of thing. And I definitely felt, that was my dad coached my brother's soccer team all through like junior high until my brother started playing for the school. And that was like a big thing. And I didn't have that. And I tried to play sports and did track, and my dad would like take me out to like help me with hurdles and stuff. And I was just still so bad at it. And it just like, so it's interesting. I felt similar about sports as you do about hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's a corollary there too, that that's the same mechanism that made me love Star Trek, because that I could do with Dad. Like Dad was super into Star Trek, the original series, and so we would watch that together, and like that's for sure been a reison it stuck with me.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's my dad.
Maybe you'll be nicer about Star Trek now.
I really doubt it. I
really
really doubt it. My dad and I, like, our big thing is watching movies together. Like that is something that has grown over time as something that we do together and talk about. And actually, like, in spite of how I joke, like we both like similar, like suspense, thriller, or like sci-fi type movies. And so we always like watch them and like rate them on my mom hates it. We rate it on a scale of 1 to 7 afterwards.
Dildos?
Nope. Oh. Not with my dad. Nope. Just numbers, just regular old Roman numerals.
Great.
Well, not Roman numerals.
I give it a VI, Captain.
God, let's get out of this. Okay. So now that we both know that we don't know or care about hunting, let's learn some of the terms. So back to blowing, Mike.
Yeah. Blowing Mike.
Well, blowing is often following a white flag. Deer will snort loudly, meaning blow, or i.e. blow, to alert other deer about a threat. What is a white flag, you say? It is different than a white fag. A white flag is when a white-tailed deer retreat. Oh, a white flag is when a white-tailed deer retreat. They raise their white tails to show a predator they were spotted. Not, and the place I found this, 0tohunt.com, says not a good sign, which is clearly like, in my mind, like that's a great sign because the deer get out of there, but they're clearly looking at it from the hunter's perspective.
Yeah. Right.
Of Abby.
I imagine it's deer for bye, bitch.
That's gay deer instead. Yeah. Like they like swirl their tail around and then say later, Felicia. Okay. Do you know any non-sexual meanings to the word blow?
like cocaine.
Oh, that's right. Blowing. How about yes? I assume. I don't know which words cocaine means or like what the drug names are, but blowing. What about verb?
What you do to Bubbles, the chimp.
Have you seen that like thing online where it's like the senior yearbook quotes? One dude said, "My favorite thing is, in life is enjoying the simple pleasures like blowing bubbles." And then another dude's senior quote is, "They call me Bubbles."
Good job, guys.
I know. And I don't even know if they're gay or straight. It's just, like, it seems like something that they just like did that was funny and it worked. That's a true ally right there if they are straight. Okay. So the things that I found in Urban Dictionary: blowing, a word that is used when something is irritating, which that could likely be misconstrued if you use that around me. Your look of consternation, I agree.
But well, like as in like this blows.
Oh, maybe no. It's like the example was like, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound dirty. He's really blowing me. I don't know. No, I don't know. I can't. I don't know how to say it in a way that doesn't. Maybe it does. Maybe it only sounds dirty. I don't know. Another word for smoking weed. There's the, like, even though it's a sexual reference, like, oh, you must be blowing the whole school. Like, that's why you're getting good grades. Like, to what?
Does that work?
No, I tried really. I tried that. Gets you his mouth chlamydia. And And one of the definitions said a misspelling of bowling, which sure, that's fine. Broadside. Do you know what the hunting broadside is?
When the deer is facing away from you instead of head on or ass on.
Yeah, facing perpendicular to you.
That's a good math word for that. Yeah, well done.
Oh, yes. Thank you, zerotohunt.com. which is unfortunately not about the Helen Hunt educational website I thought it was going to be. Yes, and it says some of the definitions I picked just because, like, I don't like them, but it just like gave a hunting vibe. It says a broadside shot to the vitals is a quickly killed deer.
Oh, let's cross stitch that.
Oh my God. We'll get some real good cross-stitching quotes from this, I'm sure. Okay, this is the one sexual definition that I found just because it was good. Broadsiding is the act in which, according to Urban Dictionary, the act in which two men slide their penises along each other's shaft in a back and forth motion. This is similar to the naval act in which two warships would sail beside each other in order to exchange fire.
Huh.
So... those penises are exchanging a different kind of fire.
Yeah, they're loaded cannons, that's for sure.
Not for long. Buck is...
Buck.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
That is a male deer that ain't got no horns yet.
It's a mature deer.
Oh, other way around. Great.
I don't know at what point they get horns, but...
Stag?
Oh, isn't that the... like, because you're single... When you go stag to a party, does that mean you're young and unattached?
Yeah, but is that when they get kicked out? Because there's one dude deer that has like all the lady deer around, and then the other dude deers that are trying to compete, they can't compete, so then they end up like they just hang out at Applebee's after that.
Getting drunk on appletinis. Yeah. My God, that sounds. I'm so like socially starved. I would love to do that. Then again, I would have done that in a non-COVID year, just hanging out, getting drunk at Applebee's. That sounds like fun. My God, I would get so many appetizers. Okay, that's not what this is about. Apparently, buck, according to Urban Dictionary, also means fighting, which I'd never heard. I guess that makes sense. Like, yeah.
Like a bucking bronco, gonna buck you off.
Sure. Everything. I'm trying not to make things sexual. Okay, so yes, sure, directly that and nothing else. Busted or spooked. What does that mean for hunting?
Well, spooked means running away because they scared.
Yeah, I shouldn't have given you that. That's too
about to. But busted?
It means the same thing.
Okay.
They smell, see, or hear you. They leave. But
busted.
Yep. Do you know what that means non-sexually? But according to Urban Dictionary, I mean, you do. I just don't know if you remember
that you've had a statue of your head made. You have been busted.
Okay, sure. What would Urban Dictionary say, though?
Oh, I don't know.
Dan, stop giving him clues. This is not charades.
Is this the Polari word of the week? I don't know. What is it?
It could be. It's in drag. When someone is unpolished or messy, you're busted.
Oh yeah, I have heard it that way.
Me too,
before.
and I didn't remember that until I. Field dressing.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know that?
That's when you cut their guts out.
Ugh, yeah, I hate it.
So they don't weigh as much, so you can haul them out.
And, well, it didn't say that. That's interesting. Also, it says, so the meat doesn't spoil.
Yeah, great.
Apparently, guts ruin meat. And according to Urban Dictionary, field dressing is sometimes hunters get hungry while waiting for deer. Oftentimes, they have no other option but break out their ranch. Although usually carnivorous, a hunter sometimes resorts to pouring salad dressing on the grass in front of him and begins grazing as a midday snack.
Oh my God. Oh, wait, I thought you said that these aren't sexual.
Does that get you going?
Yeah, you spread that ranch all over that grass, cowboy.
Eating grass. Oh my God, I saw the best video joke thing from some lesbian creator. What is better than 69? 88. You know why? Because you get 8 twice.
Yeah.
This lesbian, I think they're a lesbian couple, and one of them all like when like it seems like a little bit more innocent or like, and when she heard that she was like like just like taken aback by the sexual references. Adorable. Anyway, glassing. Do you know what that means?
Glassing.
Yeah.
Is that looking through binoculars?
Yes, it is, to spot wild game from a good vantage point.
My ass. I had no idea. Okay, go ahead. Great. I'm so.
Are you proud of yourself? Should we stop there?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Are you going to brag to your? No, you can't. Like, this is where a brag would come off as just reinforcing that they don't. That you don't know what you're talking about. Apparently, glassing can also be when an area is bombed to a degree that nothing remains. And it's based off the idea if a nuke goes off in the desert, the sand turns into glowing sheets of irradiated glass, which there's a lot of things in there that I didn't know about. But have you heard of glassing as like blowing up?
No.
Yeah, but... last one is possession limit.
Possession limit.
Yeah. There's possession limit and there's bag limit.
Yeah.
Bag limit. Oh wait, you said yeah, as if you know what at least one of those means.
It's how many things can you kill and how many of them are you allowed to keep?
Yeah. So bag limit is the number of certain species you're allowed to kill in a day. Possession limit is the number of, I included this because yes, you're right, the number that you can physically have in your possession. And in parentheses, it says in the freezer, canned, etc. All the various ways you might have them. For example, freezer or canned. And it may be more than the daily bag limit, which I didn't know there was a possession limit. I didn't know you could only have a certain number of a certain species. Like,
sort of makes sense, right? Like, don't go killing more if you ate the one you already got.
I get canned. Like, what do you have? Canned deer?
Canned meat is that's just stupid.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what that would look like, or I don't want to imagine too much more. But anyway, those are
spam. There's lots of canned meats.
Okay,
you're not improving my taste for the idea of canned meat. However,
same as is. So those are some hunting definitions that when I read, I wanted to actually talk about hunting. So I wanted to actually include some like hunting terms and ones that like got me like feeling real bad, like shooting deer, killing them quickly. Like the fact that we have a cap on the number, like we limit you to only killing this number of things in a day. Like all that, I don't like it all, but you know, that's what hunting is.
Yep. Boo.
Your turn.
Great. It's my turn. So I just wanted to talk to you about a opinion piece that I found in the High Country News, which is, I think, not about stoned rural people.
Did I reference that in...
It's familiar, yeah.
In like Cowboys or something? I think I...
Oh, maybe. Oh my God, if it's the same piece, it might be the same piece. It's by David Stalling, and it was printed on February 20th of 2006, and it's called Yes, Some Hunters Are Gay. And it's interesting. He sort of tells his story about seeing Brokeback Mountain in Missoula, and where is that? Montana.
Oh. Wazula? What am I thinking of in Washington? Is Wazula a place?
No.
Okay.
Wazoo is Washington State University. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Well, okay. So
are you thinking of Wasilla, Alaska?
Nope.
No. Are you thinking of Zillow, Washington, where Mike's from?
No, maybe I'm combining all of these into my own. Maybe just Eastern Washington to me is just Wazula.
Oh God. Well, so this dude had apparently read Brokeback Mountain.
It's a book
by Annie Proulx. It's a short story.
Oh.
But that when he had read it, he was still closeted and married. Trying to suppress his attraction to men, leading a secret, shameful double life. But by the time Brokeback Mountain came out, he was out, best friends with his wife, which we have very similar stories, except that talking to your wife bullshit. But he is a hunter, and what surprised him the most about the movie was the elk hunt, which I don't even really remember in the movie. But Jack and Ennis lose their supplies because a black bear scares their horses away. So they sneak up on a bull elk and shoot it. And then cut to them sitting around a fire, just stuffing their faces with wild elk. So then he, being a hunter and in the community, or whatever you want to say, in a chat room, posted a new thread called Brokeback Mountain, best elk hunting movie ? And
what a multifaceted film.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of things that people do in real life, a lot of hunters, I guess, bitch about the way that hunting is portrayed on media, like on TV and movies. And so this guy was trying to make the argument to this crew that this was a good, positive portrayal of hunting in a Hollywood film. Quote, the response didn't really surprise me. People with screen names like Terminator, Sewer Rat, Bear Man, and Elk Slayer wrote that, quote, no queers could really hunt elk.
Wow.
Elk are too majestic an animal to be killed by faggots. Imagine a gay elk camp. Guys would worry that camouflage made them look fat. And Bible thumpers chimed in, quoting the anti-gay gospel that they could muster, one claiming that, quote, no good, God-fearing Wyoming cowboy would engage in homosexual behavior.
Wow, that's a lot of stereotypes that you threw out just like in the past, like less than a minute.
You're welcome.
Wow.
And then he says, I finally asked if anybody had seen the movie.
Wait,
and most
the fact that you said that they're too majestic for gays to hunt is the weirdest one. Like only like
it creates a magic force field around them that only straight people can.
I wouldn't think that straight people would be like, well, let's go for the majesty of it all. I would think, like, given their shitty world of stereotypes, I would think it'd be the opposite. Like, they want the, like, biggest, huskiest, roughest looking. Like, I wouldn't think they would want the, like, most majestic, you know, I don't know. Yeah. I think we were perfect to hunt the majestic looking animals. Anyway, I take
majestic is such a gay word.
Right?
Straight people don't say the word majestic.
No,
I think
they don't.
That person was projecting.
Yeah. Yep.
I finally asked if anybody had seen the movie. Most said they would never watch it. And I really, that sailed out to me as important to talk about. The fact that even when there are quote unquote normal representations of gay people or healthy depictions of gay people or the things that they do, like straight people don't want to be confronted with that. No, sorry, not straight people. Homophobes don't want to be confronted with that. So they totally shut it down. The like, ostrich, put your head in the sand, fingers in your ears, la la la, like you see it all over the place, but just to have it called out so clearly in this article, I think was interesting. Do you remember the hunting scene in Brokeback?
No, not at all.
Maybe we should watch it.
Have we talked about Brokeback Mountain? Was that an important movie for you at all? I think
we have talked about it. I saw it with my wife.
Oh, that's right. No,
I'm sure into Anne Hathaway's boobs. They were great.
Oh yeah, honey. That's right. You were I forgot that she was your go-to. Her boob to waist ratio is just ridiculous. I don't understand it. That reminded me of Daniel Karslake, who told us about his documentary For the Bible Tells Me So, and like people writing in, you know, giving their homophobic take. And he's like, did you see it?
Yeah.
So.
And of course they won't, because they don't want to be challenged. And what better way to avoid that than just to hide?
Yeah. It's interesting how people feel totally comfortable expressing opinions about something they know absolutely nothing about. Ha 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 ha, ha society.
Yeah.
Gayish.
Hey, we do research.
Just to sort of wrap this segment up, he says, quote, Brokeback may change some minds, but I hold no illusions that my fellow bow hunters or most rural Westerners will ever accept me, a gay, wolf-loving, tree-hugging former Marine, even if I do like to hunt elk. What I wanted to hear, and he didn't put in the article, was the corollary. Does he feel shunned by gay people because he's all of those things? And my guess is he doesn't know any gay people. But if he did, because he was in a place like Seattle or elsewhere that's got a scene, I think he would probably get judged for it pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That actually elk tails very nicely into
white-tailed deers nicely
into the Pink Pistols.
Oh, okay.
So this is
that thing that you told me not to read about.
Yeah, you were like, what is that? And I was like, shut up, you'll find out soon. This is actually something that when we did our episode about guns, someone wrote it and said, I can't believe you didn't talk about this thing. So here you go, that person. Here's this thing. But yeah, it is a queer gun owners like group. So there is a contingent of gay people out there, LGBT people out there that support, enjoy hunting and gun ownership. And yeah, it is very interesting, especially in this space, because I mentioned up front, this is a straight stereotype, and the fact that it shows how diverse, not diverse in terms of race or ethnicity or any of that, but just the interests we have within LGBT groups. You can't place them all in the liberal, vegan bucket. And the fact that this group exists and is so big and popular is one sign of that. And I actually, to what you're saying, I found myself when I went to this site, just starting out knowing that it is a queer gun owning association, very judgmental. And so part of me, that does show that I agree that there is, at least for me, judgment when it comes to gun owners and hunting, even if they are queer. That doesn't. So part of me was like, okay, I need to take down a little bit of this judgmental attitude and try to read this. On the flip side, I realized, that's actually really great. I don't just support anything that's queer. My views about gun ownership are important to me, and I don't care if you're queer. I judge you just the same as I would judge a straight dude with a gun. So part of it is good and consistent with my personal beliefs.
So is it the gun ownership, or is it the killing shit with it that is more troublesome to you?
It started when I was a kid. It started with hunting specifically. Killing shit was for sport. In my mind, there's more thinking and work I need to do for myself to think about the eating it. But to have a purpose of consumption and living and surviving felt better to me, or at least more acceptable. That didn't trouble me as much. The idea of going out proactively and just for fun shooting something is that that never sat well with me. I know there are a lot of people that are don't like guns, but are okay with recreational hunting. I don't know. It's this weird thing of I want to go out and kill something that just, I don't understand that instinct. And to me, that's kind of a scary instinct to have, to want to go out and murder an animal, to watch it die and gut it. That just, obviously people are different than deer, but there's something, it's too close in my mind. It's too similar of murdering a living thing that gets me real uncomfortable.
Yeah. All right.
What about, but then it has extended as I've learned more. The gun ownership part is a little bit more about as I've learned what actually works, what helps keep you safe, what protects you, what the risks are. Gun ownership has been proven to not, just to be a net reduction in people's lives. It's bad. That was a weird way of saying people kill themselves and other people, but yeah,
it's a net positive in your dying abilities.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. We talked about guns a little bit, but do you care about hunting?
Well, see, and I think similar to what you were saying, that I'm okay with going and killing something if you're going to eat it. And that's really the only way that I can sort of rationalize not being a vegan also, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily vegan, vegetarian.
Yeah.
The people who are I don't eat meat because that was a creature that was living and now you're putting it in your face. I can support that. I understand the position. I just disagree, and it's not for me. And so we ate the shit that Dad killed, whether it swam or ran and had horns, or were cows that we raised in our field. And that's sort of stuck with me. So no, it's the killing something and then eating it doesn't bother me at all. But guns terrify me, and having one in my home is not something that I anticipate pursuing ever, or supporting someone else that I live with wanting to do that.
So hunting for recreation, not at all for eating, for recreation. Is that the part you don't like?
That just seems destructive and wasteful and fucking stupid.
Yeah. See, it's interesting that like, I feel like we were on this similar like path of like not, I don't know. I think we are going different directions with that discomfort that I totally understand, but is just like, you're towards the, okay, I'm okay with hunting as long as you are doing it for a purpose and to eat and whatever. I go to the other way of like, well, wait, I don't like killing alive things. So why, I think part of why I'm okay being a carnivore is because I can, shut my eyes to the idea that we're killing animals to like do it. I think I use like ignorance or like not researching, or
it's called self-deception, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh my God. I'm so good at it. I've been so good at it for so long. Like those people that love chicken nuggets because it doesn't look like the food, like it doesn't look like its source. Oh,
like
yeah.
Like in their head, it's not even meat. It's just this like magical fairy shaped nugget shaped thing.
To be fair, the actual percentage of meat in that might be just vegetarian anyway, but no, I think mine is purely, I don't like hunting even for eating. So I think I have a, what's it called when your beliefs are opposing each other in a bad way? I have
hypocritical.
I think I have a hypocritical view of like, when I eat food that looks like what it is, or I don't eat food that looks like it is, I've stopped wanting or being interested in eating octopus because they're found to be intelligent. But then like once you go down that road, you're like,
pigs are way super smart, man. If you're going to go down that path, you better give up bacon and ham and pulled pork.
I think if I were like a more strong-willed person, or like more willing to like do research on this stuff, I would probably be vegetarian.
Oh, well, okay. I won't. Maybe I'm just heartless and cruel and evil.
No, I don't think.
If intelligence is the bar, we should stop eating Republicans.
No, start
eating Republicans. Shit, I fucked up my own joke.
That would have been so good, but I got it anyway. No, you can't make fun of Republicans in this one on our episode for by and for Republicans.
Yeah.
No. I agree that if I, it's like my dog has feelings and I love him. Why do I think that he's better than a pig? Like, I know that my views are hypocritical and not in line with each other, and I need to explore more about it. That on a future episode of my personal podcast, Meat-ish. Okay, the Pink Pistols.
Yeah.
Mike, focus.
Yeah,
they are a queer gun-owning organization. They have 45 chapters in the U.S. Their tagline is "Pick on someone your own caliber," which is that's good.
Great, so great.
They are a shooting group. They support diversity, particularly being queer. They train new gun owners. They advocate for the Second Amendment. They have monthly meetups. I would guess not now. I don't know what they do. They have monthly meetups where they go to firing ranges. They help people learn and how to fire a gun and also get a gun. They are a nonpartisan group. They have endorsed politicians, but it's mainly around, the support for the Second Amendment. And let me read this paragraph that was in their about section that just like, it was just a lot to, we teach queers to shoot. Then we teach others that we have done so. Armed queers don't get bashed. We change the public perception of the sexual minorities such that those who have in the past perceive them as safe targets for violence and hateful acts, beatings. Sorry.
Hateful ass.
I got a hateful ass. That's for sure.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Those who've perceived them in the past as safe targets for violence and hateful acts, beatings, assaults, rapes, murders, will realize that now a segment of the sexual minority population is now armed and effective with those arms. Those arms are also concealed, so they do not know which ones of us are safe to attack and which are not, which they can harm as they have in the past, and which may draw a weapon and fight back.
Ooh.
Which that gave me so many, like a million different opinions and thoughts and feelings all at once. But I'll ask you, what was your reaction to that?
I think that it is problematic. It's like fighting fire with fire almost. Like those people that are say, I own a gun so I can protect myself. But a lot of times they speak of it in terms of deterrence. Like maybe people won't pick on me if they know I might have a gun.
Yeah.
So I have to have a gun so that they think I might sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. And saying like we want to create that sort of deterrence when it comes to hurting gay people. I'm very torn by all of that.
Yeah.
Like nuclear retaliation does not work as a deterrent. So why do we think personal firearms will? I don't know.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. They're cool. That's the end of my segment. No, I agree. There's like this mixture of good and bad that I have like, so oddly enough, to start on the good side, it reminds me of the Black Panthers of like, okay, you say you support guns, we're going to arm ourselves and let's see, do you actually like guns or do you like white people with guns? You know, it's like, to me, it has that kind of vibe of like,
yeah.
Which I like that concept, but I still hate guns. So I don't, you know, the idea, the statement it's making, I think is good. They say, you know, we both teach queers to shoot and tell other people, like the fact that they're, you know, gay, I don't know. Maybe it's good that people hear that gays are arming themselves or might have a gun, and that, but also that should not be the thing that prevents you from attacking a gay person.
Yeah,
like,
The root of this whole thing that they're trying to address is don't hurt gay people. Like Black Lives Matter. Like the things that we actually need to address. Those are solutions to like that are addressing symptoms, not the disease.
Yeah. Then again, like the addressing the like root cause is for some people going to be impossible and a long, like it's information education. It's a long process. Whereas someone thinking gays have guns, that could be that's a very short term, immediate, like visceral, like, and it also feels very victim blamey. No, it doesn't feel. It is. I will read the next line or a line later down. The Pink Pistols are the ones who have decided to no longer be safe targets, which that like, again, like the concept they're saying is they want people to feel scared or worried about attacking a queer person. But at the same time, that says that people without guns are making themselves safe targets, or we were safe to attack in the past. And that like, so that part of this like really grosses me out of like, we will no longer be, you know, the targets or victims says that it's almost like we have been complacent and we have been fueling this by not doing this, when it's like, no, like we're not the problem, you know? So that part, that's the biggest thing that makes this all feel very gross to me. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, Kyle, that's what I say.
Ugh. Take that, Pink Pistol. So yeah, there's a contingent of people that do this, that believe this. A little bit of and they go out to hunting ranges and shooting ranges together to learn. So, I mean, I guess part of this though felt like what you had said, like, you know, should I get a gun? I know that's something you've like said. And so there is part of this that actually felt very in line with that kind of thought process that you've been having.
Yep. And I'm struggling with it.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's just that, like, I am a fairly avid reader of history, and we've made so many moves towards autocracy in this country in the last 4 years that, like, there are parts of human history where rounding up people because they are different and then killing them en masse has occurred. And just I have fantasies of like locking myself up in my condo building fortress and having a gun to make sure that I don't get hauled off to an oven. And like I don't think that we're there yet, and it feels usually when I put my rational hat on like we're a long ways from getting there. But are we that long from that being a possibility? Like our country has changed so much, so quickly, and it's fucking terrifying sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I think if before Trump you would have said that, I would have been like, "That's ridiculous. That could never happen." But now, to say that could never happen, like that phrase, now I'm realizing I should and could never say that because I have no idea what can happen.
Believe it or not, this is a ridiculous segue. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about Elena Grigorieva. She was a LGBTQ rights activist
in Poland,
in Russia. So she vocally opposed the annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation, which is the disputed territory in the Ukraine. But
they put the crime in Crimea.
Wow, great. But in this context, most importantly, a outspoken LGBT rights activist in Russia. So she posted on the Российская LGBT Set Facebook group, which that's Russian LGBT network group.
Did you just do this so you could say Russian words?
Only a little. She said that she wanted to raise awareness and get people aware that there's a Gomofobная Igra Pila, which that is a homophobic game called Saw or The Saw.
Like the TV, like the movie?
Like the movie. So there was a group that called themselves The Saw who posted a list of gay people and gay activists that needed to be hunted and killed, and they were offering cash prizes for people that did so. And then just a few days later, she died. She was strangled to death.
Shit. After she made like this public knowledge?
Yeah. So she was murdered in St. Petersburg, Russia on the 21st of July, 2019, after being stabbed and strangled to death by unknown assailants. Again, just days after she appeared on the list of names that needed to be hunted and killed for cash prizes by the Saw. This fucking... I just can't even imagine. And so back to our previous conversation, we are not Russia. The United States is not Russia, but like a place that is happening in a place that I've visited recently is pretty fucking terrifying.
A little bit roundabout, but I'll get there. Like I think that what recently like this has taught me is I viewed places like Russia or North Korea or, you know, other developing countries, which I am not going to call third world countries anymore as I've learned more about it. But like I've had like the US in a place of superiority to them. I thought that some of that stuff seems outlandish and thought like, it's crazy. How could that kind of stuff happen? Like Russia, you see so much like, you know, like there's a dictator who's so anti-LGBT who, you know, there's just like all of these things that I just thought were impossible. And I had this kind of arrogance that is what people expect out of Americans and is true for sure, that like those are other countries that deal with that. And so we are not Russia, but I could very easily see how we could be a Russia. I don't put ourselves above Russia anymore. We are not superior to any other country. We could very much be one of them.
I mean, the Proud Boys show up at the Michigan State Capitol building to kill the governor. Like that happened within the last couple months, right? Yeah. Like that's not that far removed from here's the list of names and addresses of queer people. Go fucking get them.
Yeah. Well, the dude that Kyle that besmirched the name Kyle and killed two people and like they're GOP people like calling for him to like run for office. Like they care more that like he has guns than the fact that he's a murderer.
Yep. Yep. In that last post to that group, Grigorieva wrote, quote, "Law enforcement agencies have still not done anything to find the creators of this game and bring them to justice. The Russian LGBT network has repeatedly tried to find people affected by the actions of this group, but failed. We did not find a single attack case directly related to this group." And then a friend said later, quote, "We have this situation in Russia. Even when you go to police to file cases, police can refuse to register the case." People are very worried. Well, I would say that the fact that this website exists for so long without any reaction from the authorities is very telling. It tells a lot about homophobia in Russia's institutional levels. We can close and we'll move on to something slightly less terrifying and depressing. But the number of and it's happened on both sides, the left and the right, the number of sheriffs locally who have said, no, fuck you to their state or federal government about different issues. No, I'm not gonna enforce that law. It is really terrifying, and it should terrify all of us. And I'm a little torn about bringing that up because on the one hand, sure, COVID stuff, like the sheriffs that have been saying, no, I'm not going to shut down that restaurant. They can have all night parties. I don't fucking care. But there's also like weed and marijuana possession and de-emphasis of cracking down on, nonviolent drug crime. But that's also extrajudicial, just deciding by a local law enforcement what to care about.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was kind of a lot of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I thought about this a lot. I think about this for a lot of things where we cheer it on when it's happening for something we agree with. Kim Davis, when she was like not issuing licenses because she didn't agree with it, we're all like, you have to follow the law, of course. But if it was the opposite issue and a gay person wasn't following some homophobic rule, we'd be cheering them on. So it is a weird, I feel like people support things when it happens to go their way, but don't realize that they're also supporting the underlying notion of it that could go against them if it's a different circumstance. Like the fact that Twitter is being more diligent about flagging false election news. We're like, great. But then it's like, wait, that means Twitter gets to decide what is true and false. And that's a scary idea. So I actually don't like that. When you look at the root of the thing, it's not as good as it may sound.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there, but I believe in objective truth and I believe in journalism, and I believe that you should not be able to just broadcast in a grand way things that are factually not true. And I don't know. Anyway, it sucks.
I think for sheriff, then it's like if you are choosing to not follow the law intentionally, then are you willing to if that goes against the law, then you should be arrested or whatever. And if it's for something I disagree with, then hopefully they get prosecuted and the Kim Davises get fired or whatever. And if it's something I agree with, I hope that they have decided they are willing to go to jail for this thing that they support. And that's their way of fighting it. So, maybe in that way, being able to apply a similar reaction to that, regardless of what it is my way of like, I can support the people that are doing it and need to, but then our justice system needs to follow through and our social justice needs to like follow through to make all of that end up okay.
Well, I would settle for not having websites with lists of people to kill for money that are queer.
That's insane.
We're still there.
That's
for now.
Insane. That's like sometimes when I think about, I enjoy or used to My Favorite Murder and like listening and learning about some of these things, but things when it gets into like those kind of like twisted, like I set up traps in my house for people, like the Saw type, like those things just gross me out. And to like in a different, obviously like murder, of course, but like those gross me out in a completely different way that like terrifies me. Like the idea of being in that situation terrifies me in a whole new dimension. And like I don't watch the Saw movies. I have like nightmares about some of the ones I've seen. Like, and so the idea that this is a real, like that they named themselves after that horror movie, and it's real and has been effective in a fucked up way, is like, that's horrifying. That's disgusting. And I like, ugh, like I can't believe we live this life like in this world.
Do you have more segments?
No, I want to like curl up in a ball in the shower.
Okay. Well, I have a quick one.
Oh, okay. Do I have to? Okay. Can I do my shower curling, or do I have to be here for your segment?
Oh no, you should be here. For this.
Okay. Fine. I'll wait.
I have a game for you.
Oh God, that's
do you
not
like
a great.
Games?
This is not a great segue, Mike. I hate this. No, I currently hate all games.
Okay, great.
Okay, what?
This game is Hunting Club or Gay Bar. I am going to name off some hunting clubs, which are people that get together and they shoot shit together, like the Pink Pistols. And I'm going to name some gay bars, and I want you to tell me which category you think it is in. If it is a hunting club or a gay bar. Okay. And of course, because it's a podcast, if you can say out loud the words in your brain that you're thinking when you're thinking through it, that will make it a more enjoyable experience for all of us. I will say that for some of the hunting clubs, I have eliminated the words hunting club from the name because that would tip it off too quickly. Yeah. But okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's go with Double A Plantation.
That has to be a hunting club.
That is a hunting club in Darlington, South Carolina. You are correct.
Anything with the word plantation, I'm like, if that word gets me real nervous.
Okay, then let's go with Hardwood Hills.
Okay. It's the two words together. It's gay at first and then hunting second. So I'm going to go, that's still hunting club.
That is a hunting club in Eufaula, Alabama. Next, Cherry Creek Mining Company.
That sounds gay. That sounds like a gay bar.
That is a lesbian bar in El Paso, Texas.
There's just like, Cherry Creek. It sounds too adorable.
My Sister's Room.
I don't know which I would prefer it to be and which is worse, because I just really hope it's not a hunting club in Alabama. But like, so I'm going to go gay bar.
That is a lesbian bar in Decatur, Georgia.
I was hoping it wasn't a lesbian bar, because that also I was hoping it was a gay bar, because like a dude or trans bar or something, like My Sister's Room would make sense, but that's okay. Well, all right. Well, okay. I mean, yeah, okay. Why? Okay.
How about...
Am I right to be kind of weirded out by that name? Are you weird?
No, I think it's fantastic. Okay. That's why I selected it.
That's fine.
The Rut and Strut.
Gay bar?
That is the Southern Illinois Rut and Strut Hunting Club in Anna, Illinois. So you've gotten 4 right and 1 wrong. Here we go.
Rut and Strut. What are they thinking? Oh, well.
Frog Pond.
That seems like a hunting thing.
That is a lesbian bar in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Wow.
Racks and Spurs.
Okay. If that's not already a gay bar, I'm opening a gay bar and calling it that.
Is that your guess, gay bar?
Gay bar, yeah.
It is a hunting club in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
North Carolina? Do you know what you did? Did you? Okay.
Slammers.
Okay. Since I've been off on some of these, I'm going to say that sounds like a gay bar, but I'm going to say it's some unassuming hunting club that doesn't realize.
That is a lesbian bar in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, I should have gone with my instinct.
4
there.
Right and 4 wrong, Kyle. Oh, by the way, added bonus. All of the bars I selected are lesbian bars.
Oh, bonus. That's to find the thing that most sounds like a hunting club. Going for lesbian bars makes sense to me.
Yeah. Soggy Bottom.
Okay, that's a British baking club. That's neither. That has to be a lesbian bar.
That is the Soggy Bottom Hunting Club in Swainsboro, Georgia.
What? Can I dispute? Can I ask this to go to the referees for judgment? Like,
sure.
I throw my blue flag or whatever it is.
Big Laser
Hunting Club. That just seems
That is
straightforward.
the Big Laser Hunt Club in Woodland, Georgia.
Okay.
How about Buck Daddies?
Okay. I'm doing in my head, I think what you do when I ask you to guess a percentage is like analyzing it to the degree of like, you picked that. So the obvious thing would be that's a gay bar, but the fact that you picked it makes me think it might be a like, okay, so I'm gonna say you picked that to trick me, so that's a shooting club, a hunting club.
Buck Daddies Hunting Club in Springtown, Texas.
Oh my god! Every I think like every hunting club should have like its sister like lesbian bar, and they pair up with each other. They do meetups. And they're both called the same thing because like either it works. All these names work both.
The Nut Hut.
Okay. That is too far. Like that's too obvious. Like again, if I was overanalyzing, you picked that because it's so obvious that I'd be surprised. But that's too far. I'm going to say it's a lesbian bar.
That is a lesbian bar in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So with that, Kyle, right 7, wrong 5, you win.
Yeah. I'm surprisingly good at picking between two things I know minimal about.
That's it. We did it. We covered hunting barely.
We talked about hunting a bunch.
Oh God! It's like when the foreskin episode turned into circumcision. We talked about guns a whole bunch, but
that's true.
But yeah, do you want to take a break and go to the Nut Hut?
I've been at the Nut Hut. Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. I'll give you a head start. Oh Jesus. All right.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
I don't really have a straightest, but I'll figure it out.
Are you sure you can take a moment?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
So are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
We've been hunting for the outro, and here it is.
Yep, we found it.
Have you ever heard of the YouTube series The Hunting Season?
No.
It's like one of those terrible but like intriguing gay YouTube series that reminds me that like we need better gay content, but then I'm also kind of hot people with mediocre quality. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. So
do you remember what we do here?
Usually you say we're going to do our Gayest Straightest, so I can say we're going to do our Gayest Straightest, but first, and then you didn't.
You're
so
right.
I don't know.
Do I remember what we do here? I guess not. Do you want to totally naturally we just revealed the secret sauce? Everyone knows how this works now.
Nah, fuck it. So God bless our Discord on Thanksgiving. Oh, holy shit.
What?
Like the Send Nudes channel and the Not Safe for Work channels both just blew up over the holiday. They started calling it Thirstgiving, and it was a lot.
And I
it was
think
a lot
they did
to handle.
like a impromptu video chat.
Yeah, and then they had their own Zoom call that I did not attend.
Yeah, me neither. But it's really adorable. Like I see people either joining or talking on Discord, or after that, someone was like, "I'm really glad I got over my anxiety and joined the Zoom thing." Like everyone has those same feelings of anxiety, or a lot of us do, and that's kind of nice to know that other people feel that same feeling, and this is a good space to kind of like people understand. So it's a good place to test that out and try it out, and other people understand. So that's really cool. Y'all are great.
Yeah, for sure. Well, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
All of our social media is at Gayish Podcast. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Sure.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, is 585-5-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109, which...
We just got
fucking
the
Dan.
letter.
This one says, "Attention, Mike and fucking Dan."
Were you just singing the Blues Clues song about getting a letter?
I was.
Do you think that's on Spotify?
It has to be, right? That's on the playlist.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. To fucking Dan and Mike, hope you had a great birthday. I'm sorry my card is late. I got caught up with life. Your friend and listener, Jordan. And it is 2 sticker sets for putting together your own unicorn sticker.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
It goes with your butt plug.
Yeah, right? It does.
Wait.
I'll have to wear it while I use these stickers.
Wait, hold those up again so I can take a screenshot. Oh, wait. Keep doing it. Nope, put them closer. I'd rather see put them closer to the camera. Put your face in between so I can see you.
I don't know how this works.
Yeah, you did it.
Good work.
Great, because it's not like a mirror. My left hand is on the right side. Okay,
I hate
fuck
that.
it.
Trying to fix your hair in the Zoom call. You're like, oh.
Well, thank you, Jordan. Happy birthday to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's do our Gayest and Straightest.
I feel left out, but it wasn't my birthday, so I shouldn't, but that's fine. Yeah, let's do our Gayest and Straightest.
Let's do our Gayest and Straightest. I'm happy to go first.
Great.
The gayest thing about me this week, the Discord thirst giving that I was just talking about, I was trying to figure out how to take a picture of my back in my underwear and send like a tasteful, almost nude. And taking pictures of your own ass is impossible, first of all. And second of all, I discovered that there's a timer function on the phone camera, and that just opened up a whole new world of possibilities. A whole new world. It was great.
Your phone has a timer on it.
Well, okay. I am in my 40s. Shut up.
Okay. Good work.
Thanks. And then the straightest thing about me this week is, okay, first of all, do not listen to this podcast. Do not
this podcast?
Go here. No.
Oh.
I found a podcast. It is it's because of research. I research our charts and where we sit on the charts, and I sort of keep tabs on that. And this one popped up in my research, and I just clicked on it to like do some comparison stuff and read the description. Do not. This man is a horrible person, but reading the description to this podcast is the straightest thing about me this week. It's from the Unapologetic Man podcast. In today's world, there are so many forces that make us try to feel guilty for being men, all caps men. This podcast was created to give guys just like you the skills to rediscover your masculine instincts. Our sincere goal is to help you maximize your life in the areas of masculinity, seduction, dating, self-development, success, money, confidence, sex, and women. And to do it without apology.
If there's one thing men need, it's more excuses to do things without apology.
Yeah, and of that giant list of things, like let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 of them, and 4 of them were about their dick, about women. Mm-hmm. Like how many different ways can you say I like to fuck chicks in the same sentence?
And I don't want to feel bad for like sexually harassing them. Probably.
Yeah.
Wait,
anyway,
are we competing? Are they in the sexuality?
Yeah.
Section?
Yeah.
Wow. And so they came up enough to like, we're competing against them?
They popped up enough to be on my radar of shit to try to pay attention to.
All right, everybody, rate, review, and subscribe, because that's the kind of shit that is showing up on the list. And if you don't rate us and review us, it's your fault.
Indeed.
No, that's not true. It's a little bit
Kyle,
true.
go.
My gayest is I have been listening to Fletcher, the sex chronicles, sex tapes. The sex tapes. And it's very good, but I can't read the word Fletcher without seeing Felcher.
I was just going to say that. That's funny.
I don't know if that was on purpose or a part of it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But every time I think it, I have to think, shh, don't say it.
Yeah.
That's one of the songs on the album, so I could put it on the list. So, and also funny joke. My straightest, I was really racking my brain. I don't know. This isn't a recent thing, but I have I don't do too much decorating around my place. The mirrors that I have on my wall, I think they're kind of gay. They're kind of like this like square mirror, but like all different individual mirrors pointing different directions. Kind of looks like a flat disco ball. But oh no. Okay, I was going to say one of them's broken and I just kind of ignore it. But you know what's my straightest thing? I just realized when I said flat, it's a flat sphere. I've been researching the fourth dimension.
Ooh.
All the people talking about the fourth dimension are like, straight science geeks. Well, I don't know that, but come across as that kind of stereotype. And I've just been like watching videos trying to picture the fourth dimension. It's been like the most baffling thing to me that like other people understand. And I feel like I'm a relatively smart person and I don't get it. So like that's what I've been spending a lot of time watching recently.
Is your gayest thing feeling dumb or your straightest thing feeling dumb? Anyway.
My straightest thing is like science geek nerd. It's like you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we have a listener's Gayest Straightest also. This is from Jamie from Discord. Straightest, waiting until I ran out of underwear to do laundry. Gayest, after shoving my clothes into the washer so I could close the door, I thought, that's a big load. And then I chuckled to myself.
Sometimes like not doing laundry then turns into your gayest because you're like, well, I guess I'll wear my jockstrap around the house. Or
Yep. So that's it.
Thank you to our super cat bridgers, Scanders, and C and Hazen. We got a couple people close to getting up to our super cat bridgers, but not there yet.
Yeah. And thank you to Joe Exotic for just
I'd like to retract that thank you on my behalf, at least. What a fucktard. Thank you to the general concept of Nick Jonas's guns.
Great. From the C and Hazen studio, this has been Gayish. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be rich, be fabulous, be you. Bang, 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 this time I win. I'm putting on this Selena Gomez song. Ha, 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 ha.